Hello there. So this tutorial will show you how to use the Gale databases for research. So we are on the library's homepage. To get here, you can Google Central High School Library, and it will be the first hit if you're using the Google search engine. So actually, we have Gale right here on the welcome homepage, right at the top, easy for you. Or you can click this research tab, and it will also be at the very top. So click on the Gale icon. You will be prompted for a password the first time you use this. The password is backpack. It's all one word, all lowercase, BACK, PACK. Alrighty, so once you click on that and you're in, you won't have to input your password again, so that's a good thing. You saw I just clicked right to it. We have several different resources that are available right now. There are some ebooks you can enjoy, opposing viewpoints, the controversial hot topics, those types of things. For what you all are working on mostly, I suggest you use high school. So we're going to click high school. And it looks just like anything else. Up here you have your search box where you can type in your topic, but let me show you something that's very cool with topics of interest. Every 2 weeks or so, they change these so that you can just get a feel for what's going on in the national media and read more about different topics. Also, if you are starting a research topic for the first time and you aren't quite sure of what you want your topic to be, the teacher just said, do a research. You can come down here and they have several different topics arranged and categorized so that you can see what it is and play around with different ideas. A lot of people like to do social issue topics, social justice, those types of things. That's popular right now. So it has everything from the abolition of slavery to feminism and fake news, all the way down to zoos and aquariums. So it's really extensive in the topics that they provide for you. Okay, if you do know your topic, like we know today, we can just type it in. We're doing mythology. You see the drop-down box, it makes it easier. And here comes our search results. So the first thing you always want to make sure you do is come down here and click full text documents. If you don't click full text, then there may be some instances where you will not receive you'll just receive an abstract or a summary of an article, not the full thing. And that is very discouraging sometimes. So always make sure your full text is checked. And then it's really nice how the database arranges things by category. So most of the time your teachers want you to use academic journals. Sometimes you're allowed to use magazines. If you are doing a visual presentation and you need images, videos, audio, those types of things, that is all here for you. And it's very, very nice. We are going to click academic journals just because that's typically what we usually use. And I do want to be sure to let you know that the difference between using this database and Google is that everything that is in this database has been vetted. So sometimes the magazines will come up as the Washington Post. However, that has been deemed to be a very credible source. So using the databases is always your better bet on getting something that will be acceptable for your class and just for your own personal knowledge, knowing that it's not some weirdo in his grandma's basement at 60 years old who typed this out. All righty. Probably shouldn't have said that. Sorry. So we have 1,100 academic journals. Okay, there are different ways you can filter them too. If you need to narrow the publication date, if your teacher requires you to have an article that was written in the last 10 years or 5 years, you can enter a custom date range, all different kinds of things. So that is handy. Also, let's pretend this second article. Third one sounds good. Stories in the Clouds, Weather and Science. So, some very cool things that Gale can do. We come over here and it can translate into, I think it's about 36 different languages. So you can click the language of your choice and it will translate that. You can also listen to the article. And if you click for it to be translated, not all of the languages can use the audio version, but many of them, if you click and then hit narrate, it will read it in the language that you select. Also, you do not have to select the full article. So if there is just a word that you don't understand or don't know how to pronounce, excuse me, you can just highlight a certain amount of text, click listen.
Understand weather in its many manifestations. Understand weather in its many manifestations.
And it narrates it for you. And you kind of hear it's a little bit of a boring voice. So I don't know if you'd want to listen to a full article with that. But like I said, just to figure out how certain words are pronounced is very handy. Also, some neat things that Gale does is if you have like a longer article, you can see this one's short. It's only 140 words. It tells us that at the top over here. 140 words, and for ages 8 to 12. So this is definitely a younger article, but it still works for our purposes. So if you need to annotate something, all you have to do is just highlight it like normal. This box comes up. I can choose any color I want, and I can say, I don't understand this. Talk to my teacher, ask my teacher. So then it saves this. And when you send it to your Google Drive, it will be there highlighted. So you want to send to your Google Drive. So you just come up here to the Google Drive icon, click send to Google Drive. It's going to make me sign in. And there we go. It says it's been sent to my drive and will appear shortly. And what's very cool is when you do go to your Google Drive to check to make sure it's there, it creates a folder for you. So since we're using the database, the high school, Gale in Context High School, that's what your folder will be called, Gale in Context High School. So it's very, very easy for you to find and organize your information. Okay. Something else that's super, super important for you all to know that Gale does is that it will cite your sources. So many of you are going to be doing an annotated bibliography with a lot of your work, and you have to cite your source. So you just come up here and click cite. And then you choose which one you're going to do. Some teachers require MLA, some require APA. That is just a matter of you have to check with your teacher and see what they prefer, but it's right there. Again, you can send it to your Google Drive, or you can select it, copy and paste it into a Google document and have them all together later. So both ways work. I actually do this both ways. I send it to my Google Drive and I copy and paste it to a new Google Doc that I entitle Works Cited. Okay, so that is that. Something else that is very cool is, especially when you're new in the research stage, when you're trying to collect all of your documents, if you're not quite sure the specific topic you want to use, so for this, remember we typed in mythology. Come over here where it says Topic Finder. And when you click that, magic happens. So what Gale does is it takes all of the topics based on mythology, and the first 100 words from the subset come into this wheel or chart. So under mythology, we have African mythology, we have fantasy, we have Native North, all of these different things, which is very cool. The tiles is my favorite way to use, but you can also choose the wheel. And it has the major topics, and then they get more and more narrow as you go. But that is just a matter of preference. It's all the same information. So if I know I want to look up African mythology, I just click that, and then over to the right, more articles pop up on African mythology, and I can continue my search from there. Go through, the article pops up. Again, I can increase the font size, decrease it, translate it, narrate it, print it. I don't suggest you print it because most of these are really, really long. This one's 5,800 words, But you do have that option if you're at home. And then, of course, always just sending it to Google Drive and highlighting, taking notes along the way. So if you have any questions about how to use the Gale databases, you can find my contact information on the homepage of the library website down at the bottom. You can fill out this Ask a Librarian Lane form and it sends me an email immediately, or you can text my Google Voice number 437-4566 and I'll get to you as soon as possible. Happy research.